Hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome back. Welcome to the Star in the Lantern Tarot. Hello, hello. I'll let everybody get in here, but it is Podcast Friday. All right, so it's not any questions. All right, no questions today. It's just podcast. Sorry, I am late by a lot, but we were outside working, doing some yard work. It's really nice here today. We got some stuff we're trying to do. And then I had to cook supper. So, hello, everybody. So, I'm going to let everybody jump in real quick. We're just going to wait. All right, we're just going to wait. Normally, the podcast starts with your weekly astrology report by zodiac. Okay, so I normally read your weekly horoscope horoscope by zodiac. All right, from this this Saturday to next Saturday, or this Friday to next Friday. Sorry. All right, and then after that, we go into our we go into. Hang on, let me tell Rick here that I'm on. Anyway, um, we do the astrology report per zodiac, and then we talk about the topic. The topic today is going to be um, intuition development and uh, spiritual and personal growth, right? And what that means for you. But anyway, we'll just let people come in. All right. All right. Hello, Rick. Rick, what time do you go to work, huh? All right, letting people roll in. Midnight. Is that your shift? Or are you wanting some sleep? Did you sleep today? Oh, all right. We're just waiting for some more people to roll in. If you're out there and you're viewing, please say hi in chat. If you're out there. Are you going to go to sleep later, Rick, or did you get your sleep today? All right. Well, I don't know how long we're going to be waiting, but I'm just going to get going on the weekly horoscopes, starting with Aries, okay? Starting with Aries. It says, after a long retrograde season, you're more than ready to break this week when Mercury turns direct in your subconscious zone on Monday. Consider going back into hibernation as you try to piece together the last few weeks and move forward, especially since you're ready to partner up and settle down with someone when the Libra full moon is in your partnership zone. All right. This is an ideal time to make love, not war, Aries, as you learn to build back the bridges burned last month. Good luck, Aries. All right. That was Aries. We just started. We are on Aries. I'm going through Aries to Pisces, okay? Taurus. After a month of chaos, you're finding your community again when Mercury turns direct in your social zone on Monday. You'll find strength in numbers this week, so don't be afraid to slide into people's DMs, especially if it's an apology. and replace broken technology. Remember to focus on taking care of yourself and see how the habits you set for yourself last year are serving you when the Libra full moon is in your productivity zone. All right, focus on your interpersonal habits and how you can nurture others as well as yourself. Hello, nope. All right, up next, Gemini. Gemini. This is from April 7th to April 13th. Gemini, after an explosive few weeks, you'll get back on track when Mercury moves forward in your career zone on Monday. Now is the time to put out the fires you started in your professional and build new goals. What is your real dream job anyway, Gemini? Go for it. Fortunately, you'll have plenty of time for fun when the Libra full moon is in your pleasure zone on this weekend. It's a great day to go out and enjoy all the pleasures spring has to offer, from going on fun dates to attending art galleries or concerts. Express yourself today. That's for Gemini. Cancer. Cancer, your spring break plans are back on as Mercury moves forward in your expansion zone. Get ready to open your mind and heart as you discover new things about the world. So this is a great week for spiritual exploration. Consider taking a trip that will help you connect with your culture, especially since the weekend will feel like a family affair when the Libra full moon is in your home zone on Saturday. Whether you're settling into your home or hosting a family gathering, this is a great day to nurture your roots, build an emotional security today, Cancer. Hello, YOLO. All right. Up next is Leo. All right, Leo, your weekly horoscope. After weeks of fighting and taboos, it's time to let everything that has been that has been holding you back when Mercury turns direct in your transformation zone. Get ready for the week of emotional changes that could shake things up. Find a way to build your life up, Leo. You got this. Uh, with Mercury finally out of retrograde, you can put your big plans into actions and share your ideas with others when the Libra full moon enters your communication zone on Saturday. This is a great day to speak your mind and work with others to bring your dreams a reality. Let yourself roar. All right, and that's for Leo. Up next, Virgo. All right, up next is Virgo. Virgo, after a long few weeks of feuding, it's time to call a truce when Mercury turns direct in your partnership zone. This is a great time to go into problem solving mode as you seek cooperation rather than competition. Mend bridges this week and share an emotional connection to move forward. All of that saving and investing you did last fall could pay off when the Libra full moon is in your value zone on Saturday. Use this energy to remember your worth. Make sure you're not overly attached to people or objects, Virgo. It could control your life. Hello, Carf. Welcome to the channel. All right. Up next is Libra. All right, Libra weekly horoscope. All right, Libra. After weeks of slacking off, it's time to clean up that mess that the retrograde and eclipse seasons have made when Mercury turns direct in your productivity zone. Focus your attention this week on building good habits and taking care of mental and emotional health. Continue to practice self-care throughout the weekend when the full moon is in your sign on Saturday. This is a great day for some pampering as you try out new skincare routines, styles, or workouts. Talk yourself up and feel like your best self, Libra, and have fun. All right. Up next is Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, your weekly horoscope. After a stressful start to spring, You could easily use a break as Mercury turns direct in your pleasure zone on Monday. Use this week to unwind and enjoy the hobbies and activities you love. From watching comfort movies to working on creative projects, just relax and appreciate the magic of spring. Especially since the weekend could bring some emotional baggage when the Libra full moon is in your subconscious zone on Saturday. It's time to get rid of anything that's holding you back, Scorpio, including relationships. Focus on your healing, even if you have to sacrifice some social time. All right, up next is Sagittarius. Saggy, after months of family discourse, it's time to start mending fences and building back emotional security when Mercury turns direct in your home zone. Use this week to focus on private life and find ways to get everyone to get along. Yes, Saggy, everyone. Spend the weekend in the spotlight with your friends when the Libra full moon enters your social zone on Saturday. Celebrate spring by hanging out and enjoying your community. Things that you wish for last fall may appear in a windfall, so be open to miracles of all kinds. All right, that's for Sagittarius. All right, Aquarius. Aquarius, your weekly forecast. After a few weeks of being in the red, you get serious about your finances when Mercury turns direct in your value zone. Focus on your money goals and take real steps to reach them. However, remember to put stock in your spiritual and emotional wealth as well. What do you value, Aquarius? Spend the weekend getting out of your comfort zone when Libra full moon is in your expansion zone on Saturday. This is a great day to take a trip that you've been planning for months or learn something that could change everything. Leap and the net will appear. And last but not least, Pisces. All right. Pisces, your weekly horoscope. After a taxing few weeks, you'll finally free yourself again when Mercury turns direct in your sign. All right, this week. With renewed self-awareness, you can see who you are and who you want to be. Focus on your best interests as you build the dream life you deserve. Good luck. Sharing is caring this weekend when the Libra full moon is in your intimacy zone on Saturday. The partnerships you made last fall can transform your life for the better as you continue to join forces. Bonds grow stronger when sharing a life together. All right. There is your weekly forecast. Okay. Now, the podcast was going to be intuition development. All right. And to stack on top of that, your spiritual and personal growth. Okay. Now, with intuition, I always thought, just from common sense and from downloads, that not everybody has an intuition or a strong intuition. And to me, if you wanted to start using your intuition, I think the best way to do that is to start with discernment. All right, because discernment will let you know, um, like discernment will let you know. Well, let me just read that so that I'm not in my own. All right, okay. Discernment is the ability to grasp and comprehend what is obscure, to perceive or discern something, and to make sound judgments. It's about developing a keen awareness of yourself and your surroundings and learning to trust your gut feelings while also being objective and rational. Okay? Now, intuition is the subconscious recognizing patterns and grasping insights that are not immediately apparent to the senses. So you can't you it's just something that you feel, and intuition is, right? It's a source of valuable information, but it needs discernment to be properly understood and acted upon. All right. And remember, discernment is the ability to grasp and comprehend what is obscure, to perceive or discern something, and to make sound judgments. All right. Some people don't have the ability to make sound judgments. Some people just fly by the seat of their pants. I don't know, but some people are reckless that way, and some people it worked out. Crazy enough, huh? All right. The interplay between the two. Intuition provides the raw data, while discernment helps refine and interpret that data. Yeah, I know, right? And not very many people here. There's only 11 people here, right? So, intuition provides the raw data, while discernment helps refine and interpret that data. Without discernment, intuition can be unreliable, leading to misinterpretations and poor decision making. All right. How to develop your discernment. All right. This involves cultivating your mind to open up to new possibilities. You must be willing to consider different perspectives. You know how you know how some people always have to be right. Well, if they can't look at different perspectives, uh, yeah, I mean, then they're never going to consider anything else. It's going to be my way or the highway. It's going to be I know best and everybody else is stupid, right? Um, you must have the ability to analyze situations with clarity and objectivity. Also, it involves learning to listen to your inner voice and trusting your gut feelings. So, intuition has to start with discernment, okay? It just has to. You can't have one. You can have discernment and not, not have intuition, but you can't have intuition without discernment. It has to start with discernment, okay? Um, let's go to something else. Intuition without discernment can become blind faith. All right? Intuition with discernment can help you to live each moment to the fullest, bringing your full soul with you every step of the way. When you continue to listen to intuitive information, you are opening to receiving wisdom and lessons as you go. If you stop listening, you may find yourself making the same mistakes over and over again. But if you do listen, no matter how many times you fail, you can honestly promise yourself that you will always do better next time. All right. If you stop listening to where your intuition is directing you, you never learn the lessons of experiencing. You never learn the lesson that the experience was trying to teach you. Then you find yourself in a perpetual loop where life is showing you the same people, same situations, your same fears over and over and over again until you face it directly and take on the challenge that is your destiny. All right. So intuition without discernment just becomes blind faith. Developing intuition involves cultivating your ability to trust and understand subconscious judgments, right? Essentially honing in on your gut feeling, because a lot of times when we have a feeling, it's not because somebody told us to feel that way. It's not because we saw something that made us feel that way. It's because there's an inner knowing way deep down that, hey, this doesn't feel right, or hey, there's something wrong here, or hey, all sources, all kinds of sources. Two fools, two worlds. all kinds of sources. I don't just go with one source. I look up everything that I can find. All right. So, um, if you so some people that have that gut instinct, but they don't listen to it, it's because they don't understand that that's their ability to discern. Hello, New York Greek. Hello. All right. All right. So, this can be achieved through practices like mindfulness, reflection, and self-awareness exercises. All right. Intuition is not a magic trick, but rather a process to where your unconscious mind sifts through past experiences and knowledge to generate hunches, often quickly and without conscious awareness. Like I said, you just know. If you have that inkling that you shouldn't drive to the store because it's raining, you just know. It's not like the weatherman was on the news saying, hey, if I sometimes they do. I'm not saying, but it's not like the weatherman was like, hey, you don't go anywhere because you're gonna crash your car in the rain. It's not, or it wasn't like somebody called you up and said, hey, friend, I wouldn't go anywhere because it's slippery out and you're gonna crash your car in the rain. You don't get that. You just know it. You just feel it. Okay? It's just something that you know. But so that's why discernment is going to help you with that. Because discernment takes that knowing, that feeling that you get, and it turns it into something logical that you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't go to the store. Like, I kind of feel like it's kind of dangerous out there. I kind of feel like I need to stay home. I kind of feel like I don't need to go to that party. I kind of feel like, you know, so, um, so that's why, okay. So, mindfulness and meditation, all right. If you can do mindfulness and meditation, it helps quiet the mind, allowing you to recognize subtle impulses from within. Subtle. Very, 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 very tiny, minute. Okay. Self reflection, doing this, okay, can help you learn from your instincts. Okay. Self reflection is reflecting on past experiences, particularly when you follow or ignore your intuition. All right. Trusting your gut. Actively try following your gut feelings, even the small decisions, to build confidence in your intuitive abilities. Hello, Hattie. Body scans. Pay attention to your body's reaction and notice when your gut is communicating something important. The Eastern Chinese doctors always have said your gut is actually your first brain. All right. That's why gut health is so important, because Eastern doctors say your gut is your first brain. All right. Spend time in nature. All right. Going outdoors can help you clear your mind and allow you to connect more deeply with your inner self. Creative visualization, and this probably goes along with manifesting. Use your imagination to visualize desired outcomes, which can open you up to new creative energies and intuitive insights. So they go hand in hand. Okay. Journaling. Write down your thoughts and feelings that can help you identify patterns and reoccurring intuitive insights. Hello, Anna. All right. And learning from your mistakes, of course. Don't be afraid to experiment and make mistakes. Remember, we always say, no such thing as a mistake. It's just a lesson. All right. So don't be afraid to experiment and learn new lessons, right? Analyze your experience to understand what worked and what didn't, and how your intuition played a role. All right. Intuition is a skill. Like any skill, intuition can be developed and strengthened with practice. All right. Listen to your inner voice. Pay attention to the subtle cues and impulses that come from within. Balance intuition with logic. While trusting your intuition, it is also important to combine it with rational thinking and analysis. All right. And too much analysis paralysis. All right. You have to have that balance between instinct and logic. All right. Practice mindfulness and self awareness, being present in the moment and paying attention to your inner world can enhance your intuition. All right. Now, um, let's see here. Okay, physical symptoms of discernment. All right. All right. Where was that? Okay. Um, well, this is kind of neat. Okay. Sudden sharp headaches might feel like an ice pick is in one side of your head. Okay. This is about physical symptoms of discernment and intuition. Ringing in the ears, all right, also means something is shifting in the spiritual realm. Sudden nausea, painful pressure on the chest. I was actually doing that today while picking up my grandson. I kept getting like in my chest. Butterflies or knots in the stomach. Tension on the back of the neck. Tingling up the spine. Eye twitching or burning. May be blocked from seeing in the spirit. Ears irritated or plugged. May be blocked from hearing your higher self. Feeling the feeling of being squeezed like a python's around you. That's what I had today. All right. Heaviness on the shoulders. Okay. Okay. It says this is to warn you to pay attention and seek more clarity from the universe. Sometimes you are discerning something for another person. So yes, you like we do we do cross energies. When you guys are in my chat, I can still channel you even though you're not anywhere near me. So I can still channel that. All right. And vice versa. You can channel me. All right. It's very important that when physical symptoms suddenly come, that you ask um, the universe to help you figure out whether it is for you or for someone else. All right. Also, use some common sense and determine whether your body is responding to something in the natural realm. Don't ignore physical symptoms. Be careful not to over spiritualize them, though, either. Okay. If they are part of the gift of discernment, then the universe will give you clarity as what to do with them. But if you're not getting anything, if you don't really feel like this is a spiritual thing, then, and you're really having a heart attack, then you need to go to the doctor. There are symptoms that, require medical attention. Okay. So, once you take action on this feeling, it should go away. If it doesn't, then it's not a spiritual feeling. This is you needing medical attention. Okay. So, just like if you get a headache and you drink water and you take an aspirin and the headache goes away, that probably wasn't a spiritual attack. But if it goes away on its own, just through you breathing, realizing that you have a headache, trying to discern what's going on around you, and then it goes away, then that was a spiritual thing. Okay. All right. So I mean, I don't really have anything else to say. Let's go to the comments here. My left ear rings tons last week. You know, I honestly haven't had not very many earrings. I usually do. Usually get a lot of high pitch in one ear. I haven't got a lot. So Greek says I get neck pain and dizziness. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna pass out and then I'm okay. You are definitely feeling the shifts of energy. Greek says I learned today that there's some kind of secret spot in the shoulders. If you roll your arms, it makes your backs and neck and spine calming by sending this cooling sensation. I roll my shoulders all the time. And when I rub like my daughter's backs, I tell them after I do it, like I can feel that between my shoulder blades. I'm kind of getting goosebumps right now. But after I rub my daughter's shoulder blades, I tell them to roll their shoulders all the time. Let that tension out. So, yep. Hello, two fools, two worlds. Hello, Greek. Hello, Anna. So yeah, there's only 6 people in here. That massage I need. That's why I am one now. Like rotate arm in chicken wing positions. Yeah, like this. I mean, it doesn't make a difference though. You're doing the same thing. I just don't have my arms up. Okay, same movement. So same movement. Um. So yeah. So discernment has to. You have to practice discernment first. Um. Before you can have intuition. Like I said, you could have discernment and not have intuition, but you can't have intuition without discernment. You just can't. So you can have discernment and then just stop right there and have discernment. A lot of people don't even realize, like intuition probably is a buzzword a lot. And a lot of people are just like, yeah, yeah, whatever, whatever, whatever. And then you got like atheists or something like that who don't believe in higher self or heaven or intuition or spiritual guidance. You got people like that. But I bet those people, I bet these people, anyway, I bet these people, your sis, hmm, I'm spiritual is my favorite comment. I never say I'm spiritual. I never explain anything about uh anything. I mean, I figure the people find me that need to find me and they know what I'm talking about. I don't know why I have to explain. I mean, we of course have the podcast to explain things, but oh, I'm like, who are you? What happened to your other two? Hey Gigi, what happened to the other two sign-ons? Did you just two fools, two worlds? So hello. So, two fools, two worlds is my sister Sue. Hello, Sue. Yeah, I was expecting the other two sign-ons that you have. I was like, why is this person? You ain't my sister. Well, I mean, because I have a lot of people in here that are weird. Are weird that way. Anyway, so yeah, all of this stuff that I was reading, it's all kinds of tabs that I got open. Sue. Oh, okay. All right. Well, now I know. Anyway, I have all kinds of tabs open where I could just research about intuition, discernment, and spiritual. What was the other one? Spiritual and personal growth. So that is how to practice your spiritual and personal growth. All right, is those things that I just listed. Gigi says, guess what? I saw my higher level soulmate in chat the other day again. It's been a while. He says he's still single deep down. I want to shoot my shot. Then do it, Gigi. You saw your soulmate in my chat? Yeah, you can have a tribe online. Everybody that comes to my lives, I consider my tribe. So yeah, you can have a tribe online. So well, Gigi, shoot your shot with him. How do you know though where he's at? How do you know where he lives? Have you talked to him before? Like, I mean, like if you're like in Georgia and he's in Wyoming, I mean, you could shoot your shot with him, but yeah, I believe we're a tribe. Oh, okay. Sue says I kind of didn't agree with the intuition all of the way. Okay. But people have different reasons or beliefs. Well, so Sue, do you want to, I mean, we're all here to learn. Do you want to elaborate on like what else do you see about intuition that I didn't cover? You're more than welcome to put that in chat. Mm, yes. He was, oh, paranoid. Ask me who sent me. Okay. Can I ask who the other person is? Because they're probably not here. Who's the other person in chat, Gigi? That way we can just make sure he's not being mean to you also. So, but anyway, I'm interested, Susu. I'm interested. What more about intuition? Oh, okay. No, I know he's not in this chat, but he does he come to the other chats of my other ones? You said he came to chat. And what I meant was, does he come to my chats when we're doing tarot card readers? Is that what you mean? He comes to my chats, or do you meet him on another channel? Oh, okay. No, that's fine. I just want to make sure you're taken care of. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Have you invited him to my channel? You're more than welcome to. And if you want to ask him out, then ask him out. It's 2025. There's no reason why you should ask somebody else out. So, oh, New York Greek is his name. Well, like I said, you can invite him to my channel. Maybe he'd be interested in getting a free tarot reading. But I would ask him out. I would be. Oh, not you? Okay. Most guys like it when a girl makes the first move. See? I didn't want to interrupt while you're reading it. You know as well as I do that we had intuition at 2 years old, right? I believe some are born more intuitive than others. Mm-hmm. Yep, me too. But I mean, who's to say we couldn't have discernment at 2 years old? You know what I mean? So who says if we're old souls reincarnated, we just don't have that instantly? So no, you're right. We are all born with intuition, but some people just don't tap into that. You're right. Because some people don't tap into that. But I think to tap into that or to learn to tap into that, you would need discernment first. But you're right. We probably all are born with intuition. Not I am yep. But some people don't have intuition and some people don't have discernment. And like I said, if you're an old soul and you're reincarnated with all of that intact, then you're going to have that. That's the way I would see it. So, you're right. We all develop at different times and Some people don't develop at all, unfortunately. Yep. Some people don't develop at all because they're not meant to develop this timeline. It's true. I remember seeing angel numbers in the 5th grade and I didn't know any better. My parents called me nuts for seeing them or pointing them out. That's crazy. Some parents should not be parents. I don't get that. Why would they call you nuts? You're just a 5th grade. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I understand that. Hey, be better. So, because like Sue said, we remember having memories when we were two. I have more memories of my home life more than I do my school life. Now my mom believes me. It took her 40 years. Well, it's because, like Sue said, we all grow differently. We all learn differently. And like I said, at least she learned because some people never do learn. You got some people who never would believe that, never would want to hear it, never would look at it, never wants to talk about it. Like I said on that discernment, you have to have an open mind. You know, so or to practice anyway, practice your spiritual growth. It's all about having an open mind and looking at other possibilities. That's all about spiritual growth. Some people don't want to do it. Some people don't want to do it. But everybody's on a different learning curve. So I got a long number this morning of angel numbers. Did you look it up? 16, 22, 22. Did you look it up? Yeah, I always look for. You didn't look it up? We'll look it up. I always look for repeating numbers after my live ends. Sometimes I don't get any repeating numbers, but sometimes I'll get like 12, 12, 12, 12, 17, 17, 17, 23, 23, 23, like different places after. Because when you guys do a live and then you shut it down, there's a little thing that comes up after your live. It'll tell you how long you were on, how many people was in your chat rate, um, how many comments, how much money you made, how many diamonds were sent, and all of that is like categorized in a format. But a lot of times you can get repeating numbers in there. Now all the time I don't, but every once in a while I'll start seeing repeating numbers. I will check those out when I notice that there's repeating numbers. So, but yeah, let's look up angel number 16, 22, 22. Why not? All right, hang on. Angel number 16, 22, 22, while not a common sequence, combines the meanings of its individual digits. This is a period of balance, manifestation, and spiritual growth, with the emphasis on self confidence and aligning to your higher self. There you go. There you go. NY Greek, and I got 1212 and 1221 today too. Anna, I need to write down a user screenshot. Be better. I keep seeing patterns of numbers, but nothing really happens to use when I was younger, but not anymore. Oh, that sucks. Uh, just be better. If I were you, I would just ask. I would just ask to see numbers. Be better. I'd just be like, hey, universe, I need help with this. Can you send me a number that I can look up? See what happens. That's what I would do. Greek saw 316 on my McDonald's receipt. Karis, hey Karis, first podcast I made it to you. Yeah, welcome in, Karis. Oh, I didn't know I could look it up. Yes, you can always look up angel numbers. No, you're not too late. I'd be better find. I mean, the numbers are guiding you. Follow that meaning. Yes. So, now, Karis, I'm not doing tarot readings. This is just a podcast. It's just a podcast. We were talking about intuition and spiritual growth and what practices to do and the warning signs here of when you're possibly getting an intuitive hit. So you may have to watch the replay. It's you. My screen ain't frozen. Anybody else frozen? I got two things up. I'm not frozen. Yeah, I'm not frozen. Everybody's saying no. Karis. Hey, Francis. Numbers are my things. Always been picked on about how I see numbers and make them relate and such. So, Francis, would you be considered like ADD or ADHD or autistic? Because I mean, I'm not saying that's what it takes, but I was wondering if that's like, do you have any of that? So, I was just wondering, Francis, because usually people like that are better at seeing patterns. You are ADHD? Okay. Well, I don't know. I guess if you had the symptoms. Yeah, it could be a gift of hers. Yep. But I find that people with ADHD or some kind of high functioning brain stimuli helps them with seeing patterns and stuff. I mean, and that could be the gift. Maybe the high functioning brain is the gift, Sue. I don't know. I've had dreams I see numbers appear in the sky stock market. Yeah, different way in the sky, like fireworks. Wow. You have ADHD. I would freak my boss out because I could calculate faster in my head than her on calculator. Very good at numbers. Very smart. Greek. I research for a living and I'm a triple Virgo. Gift or curse? I don't know, Greek. Ask my Virgo sister Sue. She's a Virgo. She's very intelligent. She's very intelligent. So I wouldn't say being a triple Virgo is a curse. Not at all. So no, Sue. Sue says it's a curse. I don't. It couldn't be a curse. I don't think. I was just reading the other day. Which zodiac was God's favorite? Guess which one it was. Virgo. Virgo. Virgo is God's favorite. I know. Sue. I know. I research for a living and I'm a triple Virgo. Yep. Okay. Yes, I have that lots before they did drone shows. Cool flex. I'm late, aren't I? The topic is over. No, we're still talking about it. Be better. Stop talking about it. Francis, I'm an Aquarius and my mind is always going a mile a minute. I'm an Aquarius too. So yeah. My husband could kill me a lot of times because I'm just like, hey, you know what? You know what sounds good? Hey, you know what we should do? Karis, I'm an Aquarius and can read people's emotions and auras when I walk into the room. Anna, hello, Francis. I don't know. I think I learned to shut that down a lot. Yep, Rick is an Aquarius. Because I think now to me, not everybody's like this, but to me, um, I can't shut off reading their emotion and then absorbing their emotion. I've never been able I've never been able to shut that off and I don't want to be in the position to learn it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like being around emotional people for that reason. I don't like to be around emotional people. Not I don't like to be around let me rephrase that because I guess happy people and happy-go-lucky people and optimistic people I like to be around because that's me. But I don't like to be around um, anything on the other side of that. Mary E, what is your least favorite zodiac? Oh, Aries. Not now, if you're an Aries person, I don't know you. All right. I don't know you enough to say that. But from the Aries that I do know, and they are all men, no good. So, yeah. Curious, that's an awesome gift. Most can only read the energies. I hear that, Wendy. Super hard not to take, especially trauma people. Yes. Yes, especially trauma people. Francis, how come you took your message off? Francis, put your message back on there. I was going to read it. It keeps me out of trouble. I leave when I feel bad emotions rather than absorb it. Yeah, but I hate doing that too because you never really go anywhere. If you have to worry about observing bad emotions, then really, honestly, you never go anywhere. That's how I feel. I always feel like I can't go anywhere because I'm always around more chaos than I am fun, and then I'm absorbing these chaotic feelings or emotions or whatever, like walking through Walmart. I love walking through Walmart now. The Walmarts here, I don't know where you are, but the Walmarts here, they're starting to look like the malls used to when they had the mannequins and they had like the bedroom suites all put together and stuff. Walmart here in Arkansas is starting to look more like the mall. And I went to the Springfield Mall the other day, the Battlefield Mall. That place was a drag. It's not even as fun as it used to be, and there's hardly anybody there. There's no fun stores. It was all clothing stores. Um, yeah, like it's all about apparel. It's all about shoes and jewelry. Like that was it at the mall, and it never used to be that way. Now, okay, so let's go back. So Walmart looks more like going to the mall to me, where I enjoy being in Walmart and looking around in Walmart. But it's the people that come into Walmart that I can't do it. I just can't. I don't know. It's so weird. H says, I like Libras. They're super nice, but they're not my favorite. I have Venus in Aries, so I'm biased. And that's fine. Like I said, I don't, I don't know. I can't remember if you were a woman or a man. I'm just talking about Aries men. Now, look, Aries men are super smart and they are a jack of all trades. Like, there's not anything they can't do. But they're also very narcissistic, egotistical, gaslighting, breadcrumbing. Um, if they're not in their very mature man state, they're the worst. So, Greek says dated a Hispanic Aries, double fire, and that's not bad. Francis says I take faster than I proofread. I have to redo that one. Okay. Francis, maybe that's why I have to disconnect and stay clear from those people that are negative and wallow in self pity. Yes. And look, if I'm going to point out a fault of mine, this is my fault. I have no compassion for self pity, and that is my fault. And I don't know how to fix it. I don't. I do not have compassion for self pity. I do not have compassion for people that are "Ooh," all the time and won't, cannot, will not, absolutely refuses to help themselves. I don't have no compassion for that. That's something I need to work on. I would imagine, and you could probably ask Sue. We probably get that from our mother. But I just can't. I just can't. Or people just people that have no motivation. I'm not gonna say lazy. I'm not gonna say lazy. I don't like people that have no motivation to do anything and they just want everything handed to them. That's why I kind of get irate when I'm doing my lives, because if you notice some people that come into the lives, they just want you to give them every answer. And the universe is not for that. And I get in trouble for that if I try to give them all the answers. The universe wants you to be surprised. The universe wants you to be uncomfortable sometimes because that's what motivates you to fix it. I cannot be your easy button. I just can't. And I get some people that come in the live and they just want me to give them all the answers. And it's like, you got to figure some stuff out for yourself. You got to. All right. Greek says, "Oh man, I proofread a love letter 5 times." I always do that too because I'm always afraid I'm gonna miss something. Karis, very true, Wendy. I don't know how to turn it off. I can't. I don't know how either. I don't know. H says, "I agree on Aries men. They still turn me on." H says, "I'm a Pisces sun woman." That's probably why. Greek says, "What's your take on Gemini women? Mine played games and now she wants to grow." Don't get me started on Geminis. And um, Sue probably could chime in on this. Geminis is a tricky one because they are the twin. You don't know what you're getting, and they can flip on a dime, and they could be a Gemini at their worst is very two faced, and very snarky. They're very snarky. Just where you want to. My middle daughter's a Gemini, so I know. And then I have a family member, man, who's a Gemini, so I know. Um, but Geminis, all in all, they are a fellow air sign, and when they're in their best quality, they're pretty smart. Gemini's pretty smart. Chelsea's very creative, like when it comes to like decorating, and I Libras are like that too. When it comes to home decor, Gemini, if you can get a Gemini or Libra to do your home decor, you got it made. Um, but I think Geminis and Libras, like at their worst, if they have like a habit, or if they have a habit, no. So, H says Aries women are my absolute favorite. Two fools that came from mom. All of us are that way. Yes, I believe it. Anna says I only allow myself to take as much as I can handle now. I just need to say, just need to go still take 10 minutes. Yes. Francis, same, even cut off some of my family. Yes. Yes. Me and Sue are also in that boat where we have cut out a lot of family just because of their toxic nature. I love direct, outspoken, and independent women. Me too, by the way. Games aren't always fun. No, they aren't. Geminis, they know what they want without ever knowing what they want. They change with the wind. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's because of that twin thing that they got going on. If they if a Gemini could honestly master their masculine and feminine side, like their Gemini sign says, they would probably be unstoppable. So, what are your thoughts on Aries women? I do not know any Aries women. I don't know any Aries women. Like besides maybe some of you here in chat. I don't have any Aries women around me. I am surrounded by Geminis and Sagittariuses, unfortunately. No, not unfortunately. But I am surrounded by Saggies and Geminis. I have a Scorpio friend, a Virgo sister. I'm a Cancer moon, and just like with anything, if a Cancer is in their detriment, then they're very moody and emotional and needy. But if they're a good Cancer and they know who they are, they're very loving, nurturing, patient, kind. So, Greek. I fell for a Gemini as a teen. We dated after high school and it ended messy. Now I feel she's wanting to clear the air because she felt bad how it ended. Are you gonna let her? Anna is a Cancer moon, Cancer sun, Scorpio moon. Oh, good Lord, sister. Greek. So when I feel her thinking of me, I sense her guilt and love. Hmm. I can't stand Cancers. Be better. Oh, be better. You must have been around some toxic Cancers. That's why I say people in their detriment. Everybody, if you take away their zodiac sign, everybody has a good thing and a bad thing about them. They do. All right, but in their zodiac sign, the thing that if they're bad about it, they're really bad about that thing. And if they're really good and they know who they are, then they shine like the zodiac sign's supposed to shine. That's why I say people at their worst or this worst. An Aquarius at their worst, liars, cheaters, can't trust them. They're toxic, they're manipulative, um, and I'm an Aquarius, so I'm just telling you, Aquarius is at their worst. Um, are total bitch. I ain't even lying. I ain't gonna lie. So I can't stand Aquarius women. A lot of them, no. And like I said, if they're if they're in their detriment, Aquarius women are them. So they're worse than Aries. You think Cancer are worse than Aries? Can't imagine. Um, Sue says I'm an Aries rising. Two fools. I'm an Aries rising. My best friend is an Aries. We are both warriors. Don't back down. Helping. Yep. Helping and loyal to a fault. Yes. H says moon in Cancer, psychic. I have a moon in Cancer, and I do believe Two Fools has a moon in Cancer. That's why, with me, I have my faults. Not perfect, but I am an Aquarius sun and rising, and I am a Cancer moon. And I do believe I have the best of the intuitive and I have the best of the emotion. And I can balance the two out because my sun and my ascendant is Aquarius, but my moon is Cancer. So even though I'm very intellectual, I'm also very understanding and I can balance that out. But like I said, I'm sure at my detriment where maybe I didn't know who I was. I probably was very needy, very jealous, very combative. So, Moon says, H says, Moon and Cancer is psychic, energetically sensitive as fuck, even before they realize it. Yes. Kara says, I asked if I was going to marry Kaden. You said yes. Didn't even know one, made it up. Really met one, and we are getting along fabulous. Very scary, Wendy. You called it. Well, okay, so Karis, here's my thing. Why did you make it up? For one, what are you doing? Are you testing me? Why would you make that up? Karis, that's kind of weird. But now that you met one and you are getting along with them, there you go. I called it. But I don't know why you did that. That was kind of mean. All right. Sun in Capricorn, Sour Rob. Sun in Capricorn, Moon in Gemini. Sun in Capricorn, you're very money oriented. Moon in Gemini. Well, Gemini does like to make that money, but Gemini also has the ability to have fun. So if you are handling your moon in Gemini and you're not two-faced or conniving, I would say that you need to have jobs that make you money, but you love doing them, or you have the ability to. So, Francis, I self-sabotage, cold and unnecessarily cruel. Well, stop doing that. Greek, but she's all over the place in her thoughts because of Venus, Mercury retrograde. And I think I'll wait till July to see if she makes that move since she broke it off. I refuse to chase. Good. Don't be a chaser. Plus, my mama is Cancer. Yeah. Be better, Sagittarius. I'm surrounded by Sagittarius women and men. And Sue can also vouch for this. Sagittarius are a lot of fun, though. Sagittarius are Sagittarius that know who they are. Funny as fuck. You will never have a dull moment with a Sagittarius. Never. Sagittarius who don't know who they are, very what's the word? Um Sagittarius in the detriment. It's along something along the lines of they can be very hurtful and they don't give a shit. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but um Sagittarius is like, and Sagittarius can hold a grudge for a long time. But guess what? So can Aquarius. So, believe me, we've all butted heads around here in this family. So, yeah. But I love a Sagittarius. I think besides Leos, Sagittarius is all my favorite. As far as fire signs, I like a Leo too. But I like a Sagittarius. I get along with Sagittarius very well. How do you know what your moon, sun, rising is? You have to do your birth chart, Rick. You have to do your birth chart. Anna, they needed birthday and time. Yes, they do. So everybody's telling Rick how to do it. All right, all right, all right. Let me see here. They say your north node is really your sign. My north node is Aquarius. So my south node is Leo. My north node is Aquarius. Castalia, yes, I can't agree more. Can't stand Aquarius women. The ones I came across are just bitches. Amen. Besides me, but it's only because I know who I am. I used to work with a bunch of Aquarius women, and oh my fucking god. If they were all on fire, I'd watch them burn. Literally. They were just bitches. So, It's okay, Karis. Karis, honey, you're not the only one to test me like that. Honestly, you're not the only one. And I get people in the chat all the time. Just like there was one in there the other day. If you guys saw that, something about he was asking me if he would win big money, and I said no. And then he come back like 2 hours later, and he said, "Hey, remember when I asked you if I would win big money and you said no? Well, I won $500. Do you guys remember that?" I get people like that all the time. And then somebody was like, "Well, for one, $500 ain't big money, and for two, if you knew that, then why did you ask her?" You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he got drug across the coals anyway. But Karis, you ain't the only one ever doing it, so please don't feel bad. Just now you know, though, okay, that I'm going to be honest with you and tell you what I see. That I'm not making it up just by word vomit. Now you know, okay? I'll tell you what I see. Sag women, especially, and the men are sweet as can be. Francis, my daughter's Sag. She can be ruthless. Sagittarius can be ruthless. But if you get a Aquarius and a Saggy in some kind of mental standoff, let me tell you, it's a long battle. It's a it's a long 8-year war. It is. Because they don't back down, but I don't either. it's a long, it's a long war. Kashalia, I am Saggy, both Sun and Rising. Rick, as an Aquarius, I'm the sweetest guy you'll ever meet, but don't mistake my kindness for weakness. Amen. Wow, so much information. Be better. Mine is a Scorpio. Now, I love Scorpios. I love Scorpios. Scorpios are, um, how would I put that? I mostly know Scorpio women, but I do know some Scorpio men. I don't know, like, there's something about a Scorpio, if they're in their detriment, like, you know that you can't trust them. And it's not anything that they say or do. You just get that vibe from them. Henri Scorpio vibes it out uh like a volcano. Um just you can catch it. But Scorpios, when they're really good Scorpios, they are they are fun, funny, intelligent, and they're curious. Scorpios really love to talk about everything under the sun. That's what I found on Scorpios. Like, they're very open-minded. They're not judgmental at all. Like, if you have something to say that's really off the wall, you don't affect a Scorpio. They're just like, "Oh, really?" So, yeah. Sue says, Francis, I have two daughters, Sag, one Sag. Yeah, they are a handful. Greek says, my sister's a Scorpio. Strike first, ask. Mm-hmm. I just don't know any mean Scorpios. I don't. I've never known a Scorpio to be a troublemaker, trouble starter. Now, if you piss them off or you fuck with their family, of course, fucking with family. But I have never known a Scorpio, if there was like a confrontation of a group of people against a group of people, I've never known a Scorpio to be just right out there going off at the mouth. No, that's usually the Sagittarius's, honestly. Um, and I'm probably gonna say that's the Leos too, and the Aries. They'll be the one. They'll be the ones in the front. Oh yeah, well if you fucking do this, and everybody else will be standing behind them like, yeah, So I've never known a Scorpio to be just confrontational right off the bat. But like I said, it's maybe who I know. Anna, I'm not sure what most friends are. I bet I would know who not to trust. Yes, and I get that gut feeling. Yes. So two fools, just like a Scorpio. They're very loyal. Be better. What about a Capricorn? Capricorns just like to work and like to have the money and like to have the good life, and they don't show their heart not easily at all. Like Capricorn's got a lot of like tall walls and moats with alligators in it, and you have to do a lot to show a Capricorn that you're serious, and then maybe they'll let you in. But all the Capricorns I know are pretty, like I said, like that emotionally. Just, just like, halt. Who goes there? And you better like have the 12-digit password and uh retina scan and thumb scan and know what to say and have the favorite ice cream and know what their favorite food is. Like it takes a lot to get into a Capricorn castle. But Capricorns are very hard workers. They are definitely they like to have the finest things and live the best lives. So yeah. Kashalia, I know Sages are extremely naturally curious. Open minded, yes. You can talk to a Sag about a lot of things too. But if a Sag doesn't agree with you, they'll be the first to tell you you're full of shit, and I don't agree with that. Not, and like it's not even like let me hear your side of the case. Sagittarius aren't like that. Sagittarius are I don't agree with that. I'm not gonna agree with that. I don't want to hear why I should agree with that, and you're gonna shut the fuck up. That's a Sagittarius on a detriment. Yeah. Two fools. Rhonda and Ari are Scorps and definitely stand their ground, especially if their feelings are hurt. So Anna says, I have the same dream. I gotta jump on Crocs noise to get to land. Kind of like Frogger. Frogger was fun. I loved the game Frogger. So I had a really weird dream last night. I had a dream that I was with my old boyfriend from high school, the one that turned gay, and that we were going somewhere, and he had a tiny little car, and he had to take his tiny little car to the shop, and they had this tiny little stall, like car stall, and he had to fit in his tiny little car stall, and the mechanic happened to be my ex-husband, my first ex-husband that was very abusive. And when the high school boyfriend went in to pay for repairs, the mechanic come out and he was like, "Hey, Wendy," and I was like, "Oh." But I knew what the dream said. The dream said, "Do not repeat the past," because it's I don't know how to put this into words, but it's something along the lines of if you repeat the past, you're repeating all of the fucking past. Like you're going way back to the shit that you don't want to go. You're not going to just repeat little things here and there. Like if you're going to look backwards and want anything or try to get any little one thing to drag into the future with you, you're getting a whole fucking shit show. So don't do it. And in my dream, I was like, okay, universe, I got it. I get it. I understand it. I don't want anything from the past. And then I woke up. So it's a really weird dream. Caroline, hello. Always happy to be in my own little world. I Pisces. Pitfall. I guess talking about games. My favorite, sorry, my favorite video game, and I still play it today, is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit on PS2. I actually have it hooked up in the living room on a movie projector, and I just love to put that thing on free run and drive all of them tracks. So, but here, hang on. Mm, I'll tell you something that I think. Okay. Is that backwards to you? Is that backwards to you guys? Looks backwards on my screen. Can you read that? Hmm. 100% recommended. Let me put my dog in the bed. Hang on, puppy. Is he sleeping? There you go. There you go. So there you go. Yeah. Because I have experienced my men that way too. Let me see here. Wendy, do you know the arcade game Burger Time? I discovered a few years ago. I do not. Now, if I'm going to go to an arcade, I'm playing pinball. I love pinball machines. They are my first love, my only love. I love pinball machine. I'm really good about getting the extra games when you hear that bam, that ball shoot up there. Yeah, I'm a pinball girl. I like ping pong too. I'm not good at ping pong, but I like ping pong. Don't repeat the past. You aren't living there anymore. Okay. I heard Saggies are just blunt. Yeah, they are very blunt. There's no filter between mouth and brain. Saggies are very blunt. They don't know how to keep their mouth shut. Mm, very blunt. To the point of, please don't say that. I love Pong. My first console was Atari 360. That was the very first console I ever played anything on. So I was good at Centipede and I was good at Brickout. I'm like I could stay up for hours and play that shit. But after I got over the Atari, I didn't like I said it was all pinball. I love pinball machines. I want to own one. I want to own my own pinball machine. All right, love you too. You too, Susu. So, yep. My dad, when I lived at home, we didn't have like a big house, but we had a full size basement. And after all the kids left and it was just me, my dad cleaned up the basement. It had a cement floor, and he made me my own little mini roller skating rink down there because the steps went like right in the middle of the basement, and then it had a circle track around it. And of course, we had like the washing machine and dryer down there, and another fridge, and stuff for dad to fix the house and stuff like that. But a lot of it he cleaned out, and then he got me my own pinball machine down there, and there was another game he got me that was a stand up game. There was a pinball machine and there was something else I can't remember. But I used to invite my friends over, and we would roller skate down in the basement and have a party. It was amazing. And I first had Atari. My dad got before it came out at work. That's cool, Anna. You skated in the basement as well. Yeah, it wasn't very big, but of course I wasn't very big either. But yeah, dad got me like drinks to put in that fridge down there so we could get in there and get drinks. And then dad made a little snack table down there so we could have snacks. And then, like I said, we had music down there. We would roller skate down there. So, hello, classy Fred. So, yeah, a lot of fun. I have a lot of very, very sweet childhood memories. He used to bring home those electric spools, the spools, but they're great big, right? They're as big as a car. With the electric wire would go on them. He would bring tons of those home, all different sizes, from really small to really big. And me and the neighbors, we would pretend like those were all horses. We'd all be out there pretending like we were riding horses, and they'd be all like lined up in the yard, like seven of them things, different sizes, all lined up. And dad went and got me rope and pillows, and I made my own saddles with the pillows and the ropes, and I made my own bridles, which come over. Of course, like in your mind, it's not real because I've had horses and I know that horses drop their head. But in your mind, if you imagine riding, you imagine the reins being, up. Well, when that spool came up and the rope came around, it was almost like you were reining in a horse, with a high head. And yeah, me and the neighbors, oh my gosh, the best time out there. It's okay, Fred. It's okay. You can stay if you're not a troll. So, but yeah, and then because my dad was a truck driver, so of course, he brought a whole bunch of shit home all the time. Another thing we used to do is he brought home a bunch of books on horses. And when it was raining, we'd go down in the basement. We would pretend like we would sell horses to people. You could buy a Lipizzan horse for $100. Because to me, to us that was a lot of money. And then he had books on blueprints of homes. And that was the other thing we did. We pretend like we sold homes for $100. So I wasn't your classic girl that played Barbies and stuff like that. Not until I got older and Star Wars came out with action figures. I actually had Star Wars action figures. I didn't have really anybody to play with though, but I played with the Star Wars action figures. I had I had the Millennium Falcon. I had the little cruisers like on the land where the Ewoks lived. Those little jet. They look like wave runners, but they flew through the air. I had those, and I had all of the characters, of course. The Millennium Falcon. I had not the X-wing. Was it the X-wing? Not the bad person, not the bad sides spaceship, but the X-wing. I used to play with that all the time. Never played with dolls or Barbies, but I did play with Star Wars action figures. Your dad was a truck driver? Yeah, mine was too. Yep. So, but yeah, I've got nothing but fond memories of when I was a kid. I mean, I've got some bad memories too. Don't get me wrong, but my memories of a child definitely supersedes any memories of the parents fighting and being alcoholics. Your dad, yeah, was first years and then Nabisco. My dad, I don't know, because my dad didn't like own his own truck, but he drove for a lot of companies. I remember one time he drove for Nestle, and we got a lot of candy bars. We had tons and tons of candy bars. We had we had so many candy bars. Hello, Grace. We had so many candy bars that I could go to the neighbor's house and give away candy bars. I'd be like, "Hey guys, want a basket of candy bars?" We're like, "Yeah." So I love that. But if you would talk to all of my friends, they would probably tell you that I had the best imagination, and I always made everything fun. But my mom and dad, even though they were alcoholics and drunks and they fought a lot, they were pretty easygoing. And like we could have like water fights in the house, around the house. They didn't get mad at us as long as we cleaned it up. We could, when we would be in my bedroom, we would play school, and my mom would get me chalk, and we had the paneling, the wood paneling. I could, I could write on my walls like a chalkboard as long as it washed off. They didn't care. We was just, being kids and being quiet. They just let us do whatever we wanted, as long as we didn't wreck anything and it was washable. So. Riding in the truck as a kid is when my number thing started. Oh, wow. Something to do with pass the time? Yeah. I didn't go very often with my dad on the truck. Every once in a while, he would take like all of us to go. That I didn't like that at all because it was too crowded. He had a flat nose truck, but he had the cab in the back. But with four of us in there or five of us in there, kind of sucked. Didn't like it. Pretty crowded. And nobody wants to ride in the cab of a truck, hundreds of miles, nothing to do, and no window to look out either. No, that would be so incredibly awesome as a kid with all that candy. Yeah, my neighbors really liked it too. Yeah. I know there's a lag, because I'm on Streamlabs, um, so I know that there's a lag between me talking and you guys answering. So if I'm quiet, it's because I'm actually waiting for your chats to come into the chat box. So, um, yeah, I'm actually reading it and just waiting to see what you guys are putting in there. Like I said, there's probably a up to a minute lag between me talking and you getting it. So is there anything else anybody wants to talk about? Any questions from you now that the chat's kind of died down? Middle child of five. I'm the baby of nine. And my husband's also the baby of nine. Yeah, the middle children are the ones who usually get neglected the most. That's not a joke. So you got a bald spot right there, but I swear I got hair. I'm the most self-sufficient one. Always was alone and had to think for yourself. Yeah. Yep. All of us was always alone. It didn't matter, oldest, middle, or young. I all of my memories, most of them I was alone. Most of them I was alone trucking in the snow outside in South Dakota at 5 o'clock in the evening when it was dark out, making my way home from playing in the woods somewhere in the snow. I remember you couldn't get me out of the snow. The snow would literally be up to my knees or deeper, and I would be out there all day playing in it. Doing just, I had the wildest imagination. So I'd be out there all day playing in the snow. And then come home, right before it got like if right now it's 7:59 with me. So if it's 7:59 with you, look out your window. This would be about the darkness of the sky when I was actually coming home in the middle of winter from playing outside in deep, deep snow. And my parents never knew where I was at, and I would always make it home, and mom would always have a hot meal for me, and I would eat my hot meal, and then I'd go to bed. But all of my best memories is just me out there in Snowland doing fucking whatever. So I know that sounds weird, but yeah, a lot of memories of just me being out there. Because there's, even today, you would not get kids out there to play in that shit because it's cold. In South Dakota, it was like -20, but you had the snow clothes, where you wouldn't be cold. We had the big insulated thick boots. We used to call them moon boots. Do you guys remember that? The moon boots where the soles of those things were like this big. They look like Kiss, the rock band Kiss. They would look like their boots, but they were made for snow. So the soles on those things would be like that big. They were called moon boots. And then you had your overalls that were snow. And then you had the parka where the hood would zip up to like this far from your face, and you could zip it to like this where you could just see out it, and you dress up in that and some nice warm mittens so you can stay outside and igloo. You could build an igloo and stay in it. I did. So I think it's a difference now between now though. I don't even know if northerners, I know Vermont still has snow clothes like that, like Vermont and Maine and Massachusetts, because they get that frigid. Probably Wisconsin and Minnesota. Anything under that, though, I don't even know if they still have those clothes like that. They have the really thick, insulated overalls and parkas, is what we called them. Big, heavy parkas. Um, so, I don't know. And the hood had that soft, furry lining in it. The hood did. That way, when you zipped it up to like this, in front of your face, your ears was all nice and warm. But I still had a cap on, a scarf on, mittens, really thick mittens. I didn't like gloves. I liked mittens because gloves separate your fingers and they get colder faster. But if you wear mittens, you got the heat from your other fingers keeping your hands warm. So I always liked the mittens. But we used to like build tunnels in the snow because we had a lot of snow. I love snowmobiling. 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 Oh my god. Snowmobile. Yeah. Snowmobiling is fun. If you ever put anything on your bucket list, go snowmobiling and skiing, unless you're too old to ski. Then go snowmobiling. You won't regret it. That shit's fun. If you like being on a four wheeler or a wave runner in the lakes, go snowmobiling. It's the same thing. It's just cold. But I mean, if you were wearing all the clothes that you should be wearing, the cold won't affect you. So. All right. Well, it is 8 o'clock. It looks like the chat's pretty much died down. I only have 11 people in here now. Is there any questions? Anything anybody wants to talk about? And if not, then I think I'm going to dip off of here and close down for the evening. Anything for anybody? Are y'all good? Y'all good to go? Anybody want to say anything? Y'all were talking like pretty good here about 15 minutes ago, and then you're all like, glad to get a face to the voice. Nice to get to know you too, Wendy. Thank you, Francis. Thank you. Everybody says that. Everybody's like, oh, it's so good to see you. The thing is, I would do the tarot readings with my face, but they just don't get the views. And I don't know if that's a YouTube thing. I don't know what the hell is going on with that. But if I actually do this with my readings, I only get like 800 views. If I show my desk doing your YouTube readings, I get like 2,000 views. I don't know what the difference is. Why that would be. I myself would think that you would want to see my face, or anybody getting a tarot card reading would want to see my face and me show you me literally blah, 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 me literally just showing you the cards and then telling you what you know I don't mind that, and I don't mind other readers doing that, but for some reason YouTube just does not push that video like they do the desk view. I don't know why. Doesn't make any sense to me. But all right. So but it only says I have 4 viewers in here, so I guess we are gonna dip. Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you guys learned something today. If you missed it, just like I said, watch the replay. It's about it's about um, working with discernment and your intuition and what to do with all of that. So, but I do love you guys. Thank you for being here. Well, the desk view has my attempt to buy those lights. I guess you can't find them. Somebody come in and ask me about those lights. Now these lights are Walmart. The other lights on the desk, the Aurora lights, are from Gmail. But somebody said you can't find them anymore. So I don't know what happened with that. Just maybe you have to Google Aurora lights and see if somebody else is actually selling them. I don't know. But I do love you guys. Thank you for stopping by. And yeah, I hope today's podcast has taught you something. I'm always trying to help you guys out with your your spiritual journey. So if there's anything that you want me to cover, um, just let me know anytime that you're with me on my lives or now. And the podcast is literally open to talk to about anything. We don't have to follow what I'm talking about. We can talk about anything. So, but with that being said, yeah, I don't think there's anything else. So, Jen Wendy on the replay. What's Jen Wendy mean? I am. Is there? I just want to make sure you guys are all good. If you guys are all good to skedaddle, y'all good? It says there's 10 people in here. Nobody's talking though. I'm just waiting for chat to catch up. Okay. Good night, Be Better. All right. Good night, everybody. I'll talk to you guys Sunday. Sunday is going to be the channeled messages where I just channel what I see. All right. All right. Yep. Good night, everybody. I'll see you Sunday between 2 and 3. All right.